We're building a 4-second streetcar this winter. And next summer, we're not gonna get drug every race at every class that I'm running in. So this week of the series, we are going to be taking this engine apart. I built this thing 2 years ago. It's got Texas Speed internals in it, Lunati crank, but it is my first 1,000 horsepower engine I built. And we're gonna take it apart to see if this thing was about to explode or not. But first thing we're gonna take care of is this rear end. I think I have a rear end noise. I'm pretty sure it's coming from this center section. When we get this thing apart, we're gonna dive into that to see, hopefully I can find something that's wrong. So I'm gonna quit talking, I'm gonna start working, so here we go. Did I get you guys a little wet there? I almost just shattered my phone because I'm an idiot. All right, guys, we're starting on getting all the brakes off each side, take these bars off, drain the oil out of this center section, take the third member off, see if we can find any kind of issue that would be causing that noise I was talking about, and then we're gonna start cutting all these brackets off. I got the oil drained out, got the plug out, and there is a little bit of metal on that. I don't know how bad that really is. I don't know enough about it, to be honest. Oh, yeah, that's a decent amount of shit. I changed this oil like once, and I've had this rear end in the car for about 4 years, so probably should have changed it more often.
The big chunks is what you don't.
Well, there's no big chunks, so hopefully there's nothing too bad in there, but we're about to find out. Well, this ain't the problem because this thing looks honestly even better than I expected. Might be something to do with the transmission, which isn't good because I've had nothing but problems with that transmission. Time to get these brackets off there. I went down to Farm and Fleet and got me this sweet diamond blade by Milwaukee. We're gonna see how well this thing works because I got a lot of freaking cutting to do. So cue that time lapse. Brackets off. I got the ends off of both sides. I got these 2 brackets left, and that's it. And then I have a ton of grinding to do to get all these like just little pieces back to like just the tube. My wrists hurt, my arms hurt, my neck hurts, and I've went through all of these batteries. 12 and 13 batteries. Probably just should have got a grinder that I can plug in, which I have that one right there, and it's a piece of junk, but I might have to break that thing out to get this thing finished. Well, one side is finally done. That was terrible. I will say that this grinder from Harbor Freight works pretty damn good. So here's the bracket actually sitting on there. That's probably about where it's gonna be. So a little bit of motivation for me for the other side. I got a ton of work to do, and I am not looking forward to it. But I guess somebody's gonna have to do it. So here we go. All right, guys, there you have it. It's got all of the tubes cleaned off, both the brackets sitting on there. That's a rough estimate as to where they're gonna sit from just taking measurements on the car. It looks pretty sweet. Obviously, we'll run some bars along the bottom here. We'll build a plate to go here and take some bars from here to the center of the housing just to stiffen everything up as best we can. I need to order the tube ends today, probably some seals and whatnot, so we can get this thing going back together. So now we're gonna transition over to pulling this engine apart. And a couple videos back, you've seen that my ports are all looking kind of funky. Well, all those look normal, but then there's this one that is like super clean. You can see decently black, decently black, decently black, completely clean. I switched injectors, did all kinds of stuff. It didn't make a bit of difference, so hopefully pulling this thing apart will tell us something at least. See if this thing was about to explode from me building it 2 years ago. Like I said, this is my first 1,000 horsepower engine I built. I'm surprised it lasts this long. I also bought a set of trick flow heads to go on here. I got them used off of a Facebook Marketplace, you know, one of them Facebook Marketplace finds, because I spend half my time on there. Those are gonna need a little bit of work from the machine shop, but not too much. It should make this engine flow a lot better. For watching all the videos from last summer of me trying to hit a 4-second pass, the turbos that I have are almost out amount of steam. Obviously, it's gonna make more power on the same boost, and hopefully it'll get me through next season with the same turbo setup I got. But let's get this thing tearing apart and see how good I did. So here we go. Harmonic balancer won't come off, even with the Matco air gun. So I got a battery sitting here with the torch sitting on it. Hopefully that'll heat it up to where I can pop that bolt loose and pull that thing off there. I ain't gonna lie, I don't think that puller is gonna work. I couldn't figure it out, and I don't know if we got another one over there. I'm gonna start pulling these heads off now. We'll see what we can find. All right, probably got a bunch of antifreeze coming out of here. Oh, just shot antifreeze in my eye. All right, maybe it'll come off that. Oh yeah. Well, that cylinder looks fine. It actually looks really good. I bet this will clean up really nice. I don't see any major scarring yet. Yeah, these studs make this so much harder to get off. But I'm a stud too, you know? Should be able to get it off. And the gasket looks pretty good. No out of roundness. Usually I think they blow like here and there. Everything looks pretty good. Like the block surface looks really nice. There's not any like major grooves in it for where the gasket was laying. There's a little ridge in the top, but I don't think that's too much to worry about, I wouldn't think. Let's get this other side off, take a look at that. ARP studs out of there, and we'll flip this thing over and see what the underneath looks like. Excited to see what those bearings look like. Hopefully they still look brand new, and I actually built this thing right. All right. Here goes the first rod cap. This will tell us how rod bearings were holding up. Ooh, that crank looks good. Definitely not terrible. I don't see any copper that's in there. Let's see if we can push this biatch out of there. Kind of hard to do with one person. Little bit of scarring on the skirt. I really think that that's normal, to be honest. Bearing there looks nice. Texas Speed. These are super I-beam rods. Rings look all intact. Guys, turns out there was another puller over there. Cylinders look decent. They aren't perfect. We might just have to get these honed. There's a small like pitting that you can barely see and you can't feel it, but it might be just enough to get it honed. Hopefully we don't have to get it bored, because then I gotta buy new pistons and that can get expensive really fast. All the bearing surfaces for the rods all look really good. We might go ahead and get them polished. I'm ready to loosen up all these main studs, pull this crank out, and then the only thing left will be to get that cam out. Got all the main caps off. This one was the very front one. You can see there was quite the groove in that one. I don't know if something went through it or what, but the crank looks fine. It looks like we're gonna get away with, you said, just polish. All the other ones look all right. I mean, they got some grooves in them. That front one's definitely the worst. I'm gonna get this thing to the machine shop. He's gonna look at the cylinders, deck those heads, and whatever else he thinks is necessary. Next week, we're gonna be cutting out all this and getting it ready for that rear end to go back in there with all those 10 soldier brackets and bars. Thanks for watching, guys. Come back next week, see what we tear up. I'll see you later, guys.